If you ever think I'm going to apologise to you about anything, you have another thought coming. The phrase is thing. It's that's the point. If he thinks that, he's not going to have another thought coming unless it's food or sex. Alright, whatever. What's your name, Buttercup? Wouldn't you like to know, idiot? He probably knows it. It wasn't one of the most triumph exits, but it was an exit nonetheless. Though I did make a fool of myself since I tripped over one of the tree roots as I walked out of the clearing towards home. Brilliant! Okay, so not only does he think you're a prick, but he thinks you're an arrogant and clumsy prick. Wonderful. Oh well, no one likes him anyway. Walk much? No prince says that! He's older than 14. Alright. I could still hear the faint sound of him and his friends' laughter as I made it further out into the woods. This day didn't really end on a good note at all. I would have to agree with that. The sound of my sister's footsteps here thundering down the hall. Then the sound of my bedroom door was heard slamming open. That doesn't slam open. Alright. You'll never get what Mum just got. A boob enlargement? A new husband? One's very good, one's very disappointing. I'll let you guess which. Rolling over with a groan, I wasn't in the best of moods this morning. Last night's incident had left me a little rattled and annoyed with myself for letting him get me so worked up. Plopping down next to me on the side of the bed, she ripped the blanket from off my head and shoved a paper in front of my face. Which says, orgy attendance. Oh, still. You know how the Unicorn Queen is always throwing all these fancy balls, right? Well, apparently someone told her about your food and someone's wants some of your pasties. Pasties? What the fuck am I on about? Pasties? The party! Do Americans even know what pasties are? I just thought that was an English thing, how you get a Cornish pasty. I might be wrong. I snarled as I shoved the paper out of my face. I then cocooned myself back inside my blanket. Big whoop. If she's not paying me, I could care less if she wants the whole entree. No, see, that's something which Americans do, which really annoys me. No, you couldn't care less. If you could care less, that's fine, because you could care less about stuff. The message you're trying to convey is you could not care less. You could not give less of a fuck if you tried. Just trying to clear that one up. We're just going to have one funny bugger in the comments section who's going to go, oh, I could care less about your rant. See what you did there. Right. Oh, come on, you're not listening to me. Ripping the blanket back off, she leaned down while looking back over her shoulder to make sure Mum wasn't around. Or Mom, as it keeps saying. If you do this, you get a free pass to the balls and you can skip out on those drunken meet and greets Mum's trying to send you to. They aren't that bad. Would you want your fairy love tale story to start out with you finding your first love throwing up at Oak Tree or getting in some drunken fight, or... She leaned a little closer, slowly waving the paper in front of my face while I saw a small smile play on her lips. Or would you rather tell a story about how you met at the royal castle, in the balcony blanketed in the moonlight, with beautiful music softly serenading you both as you waltz under the star-streaked sky? I'd love to, but I'd only be lying. God. Motivated by curiosity of the possible outcome, I slowly took the paper in my hand and give my sister a nod. Well, since you put it that way, you're such a hopeless romantic. No, I just know what I want. Isn't it time for you to open up shop now? Ah, you're right. Jumping out of bed, I headed to the bathroom to start getting ready for the full day of work that was ahead of me. We're going to see the Prince of Unicorns again. I can see it already. Work went pretty well today. Oh, right. Well, we're already speaking in the past tense. Only a good thing. I was able to get a lot of done and start sectioning out the desserts that I wanted to prepare for the Queen. See, I thought this would be a stat building game just because of the way it says day 2 there, but clearly not, clearly not. With work finished, I wondered where I should spend the rest of my day to write in my diary. The spot by the pond should be quiet enough. Sitting by the fairies' oak trees might be nice. So they've managed to spell fairy wrong. Wow. Alright, the spot by the pond should be quiet enough. Sitting by the fairies' oak trees might be nice. I'm amiss because I think the fairies' oak tree will just ram me into the Prince of the Unicorns again. Damien. He just has a cock's name. It's amazing. No offense if anyone called Damien is watching. I highly doubt it, though. Alright, then let's sit by a fairy's oak tree. We don't want to be quiet. Carefully making my way back towards my new spot by the small oak tree, I sat down and began rustling through my bag that I usually kept my diary in to keep it safe. That's weird. I could have sworn... Turning my bag upside down, I spilled all the countenance that was inside out. My diary was nowhere to be found. Did I leave it at home? But I know... My heart, fucking misspelled again, began pounding in my chest as I tried to rack my brain to remember what I last did with it. It's a free visual novel. We won't, slam them for misspelling words. Occasionally shit happens. Every secret that I had was in that book. I couldn't stand the thought of someone else reading all my private thoughts and dreams that I wrote inside. I highly doubt anyone gives much of a fuck, Acacia. No! Shoving everything back inside my bag, I quickly jumped to my feet and tried to backtrack my steps from yesterday. What are you doing? Whirling around, I saw the fairy boy from last night standing with a sack of what looked like rice slung over his shoulder. The bruises and scars from yesterday had already healed up. If only trolls could heal as dust as fast as fairies. They're fairies, they have magic! Don't try and wish for something you're clearly never gonna have. I'm looking for something. Oh wow. Fucking hell, he looks like the Silvari people from Guild Wars 2. He is a leaf person. What are you looking for? A book. Setting a bag of rice down, he stretched his arms out lazily and sat down at the foot of the tree. Oh really? What kind of book? Just a book. His dark eyes studied me as he raised one eyebrow questioningly. Just a book? Yes. Closing his eyes, placed his hands behind his head and started humming softly. I guess he didn't really have anything else to say. Turning back, I kept looking around the bushes and tall grass. He's probably doing a spell to see where it is. I doubt he's just randomly like, "Get you bore me." Meditation, Buddhism. It doesn't work that way. I suppose, to be fair, trolls are quite uncultured as to other people's goings. I don't think that's too harsh. I searched the same spot over and over again, hoping that I might have overlooked something, but still didn't find anything. Have you tried looking over here yet? I can't. Why not? You're kind of in the way. I don't know the way. You've got plenty of searching room. Come over here. Why can't you just get up and move? Because why? Because I'm already sitting down. I started to get a prickly feeling that he was just teasing me, but I wasn't quite sure since his relaxed expression hadn't changed at all. It was almost as if he was talking in his sleep. I'd love to know what language is the universal language of the fairies. I read a book when I was little. I say little, like 12. A book called Artemis Fowl. And it's one about fairies. He kidnaps a holly called Hazel or Holly. But in that, it's described as a fairy has a neutral accent, almost Latin. But I can't picture him with a Latin accent. I'm thinking he's kind of like some burly American from deep South America. Maybe not that far. Nah, we don't want him sounding like George Bush. That's always bad. Alright, I don't actually know any famous American I could compare him to. So, let's just think of muscled and drizzly. Drizzly chiseled. Got there in the end. I'll just come back tomorrow and look for it. Just as I turned around, I heard a rustling noise. He wasn't seriously being that childish and was moving after I said I was leaving. Hey, Aisha. It's Acacia. Is this what you're looking for? Quickly turning back round, I saw him standing with his arm hiding something behind his back. What, did you find it? That depends. What kind of book it is it? I wouldn't want you to give you someone else's book. Or someone else's book, but... Another spelling error, but again, we'll let them off. I could feel my agitation rising as I stomped over towards him. Stopping in front of him, I held out my hand. Let me see, and I'll tell you if it's the book I'm looking for or not. What if this isn't and you're trying to steal someone else's... Again, someone else's book. Someone else's book that just got lost out here. Just say it's a fucking diary and stop being so awkward. Who else would lose a book out here? Careless princess trolls that are crazy about fairy tale and love stories? Ah! I would high-five him if I could virtually high-five him through the screen right now. My mouth dropped open in shock as a mischievous smile spread across his face. Give me back my diary! Jumping forward, I tried to reach the book behind his back, but he turned to the side before I could reach it. Ah, so you're looking for your diary. Of course I am. You should already know that, seeing how you read it. I didn't know it was a diary. I just thought it was some poorly written princess story. Wow, ouch. Written day by day for a first person view by someone who's not getting any. That's a really shit princess story. Alright. Are you going to give it back or not? I am, but first I want you to answer a question for me. What? What's my name? How should I know? Pulling my diary out from behind his back, he shrugged his shoulders. Well, then I guess you don't want this back. You should ask him for his name, you prick. Alright, I reached forward trying to snatch my diary out of his hand, but he pulled it away and used his other hand to grab my wrist. Not so fast, you still haven't answered my question. Let go of... No. His dark, intense eyes bore into mine. He tugged my wrist, causing me to take a step back towards him. His warm breath gently brushed my skin. What a perfect thing to do. I said let go... So? That mischievous smile spread across his face again. Then everything around me started to feel like it was slowly tilting. It felt like his deep, beautiful eyes were slowly pulling me in. If you don't let go by the count of 3... Seriously, Aisha, you don't have to act like I'm some disease or something. Calm down. Letting my wrist drop, he pinched my cheek, smacking my hand, wonder where he was going with that, away as I swung my fist at his face. But he easily dodged it by using my diary to knock my arm back. I'm not acting like you're... Alright, now you're is horribly spelled wrong. You're a disease. I'm just enjoying my space. You've met him before if he's constantly asking you for his name. Alright. With a chuckle, he handed my diary back to me. Just so you know, I didn't read your diary. Then how did you know? I was guessing. I wasn't expecting a troll like you to actually be into all those girly things. Then again, after seeing how you acted today, I guess that's not unbelievable. What's that supposed to mean? Mean. Wonderful, I'm spelling that. It means what it means. Walking away, he gave me a little wave while picking back up the sack he had set down. You're rough, but there's also something else about you that I can't quite find the right word for. Looking down at my diary, I saw that the lock was still intact. I had kept the key in my bag, so he was telling the truth about not reading it. Glancing back at him as he walked towards his home, I bent down and picked up one of the fallen acorns and flung it at his head. Say thank you! Oh, wow. Ouch! I know you're rough, but you really need to find a better way to get people's attention. What's your name? My voice was barley, above a whisper as I avoided making eye contact with him. Huh? Your name? Wow. Is this game doing it on purpose? I get that people sometimes spell "you're" wrong, right? That's understandable. People forget, I do it occasionally. But then spelling it the wrong way again? Alright, do you see the grammar troll in me coming out? Your name, what is it? After a long pause, I glanced over him to see if he was still there. It's Adavine. Adavine? Edavine? Edavine. I suppose it is Vine because he's a tree person, so Edavine! Thanks, Evine. Why the fuck is there an apostrophe in thanks? There's never an apostrophe in thanks. It's not thank is Evine. Fucking hell, it'd be like Yoda all over again. Alright, no, moving on. Cute. No problem, Aisha. Giving me another small smile, he shook his head and continued walking back home. I couldn't stop the smile that was slowly creeping on my face, even though all we did was sort of argue. It was kind of fun. He seems like the more mystique option. I like him. I like him a lot. He's cool. After finishing up some more chorus and baking some more dessert for tonight's meet and greet, I decided to explore a little outside. Searching around the cottage where my window was, I tried looking for any kind of clue that could possibly tell me who my secret letter writer was. Nothing. With no luck, I brushed the hem of my dress off since so much dirt had got into it while I was tiptoeing through my mother's garden, which was strangely back to normal again. Mum works really fast. That or the boys came back and did it. Pulling some plums off the plum tree behind the house, I walked back up to the front. I was debating on whether I wanted to go to the meet and greet or skip off somewhere, it's one word, and find something fun to do. After the short back and forth I had with Edavine, I was feeling kind of hyper. I don't usually get a lot of chances to goof around with others my age, and even when I did, most of the time I'd end up making someone cry. Well, you gotta stop throwing things so hard. Am I gonna be presented with an option? The sound of my mother and sister's voice snapped me from my train of thought. Sis, where are you? The meet and greet is within a few minuets. Taking one last bite of the plum, I tossed the pit in a way and ducked down behind the bushes. Acacia? Right as they made their way... wrong spelling of their way into view and in front of the bush, I jumped towards them with my arms raised high and let out a loud shout. Boo! Acacia, have you lost your mind? Oh no, Aaron, I'm so sorry. Putting my arms down, I saw the cake that I had baked smashed all over the troll from last night. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Now look what you've done. See, that could have been sorted by not being a complete brick. Just saying.